So we are going to go ahead and start back up with session number 11, and this is referring to lesson plan number 66 through 69. This is related to your geospatial tools. And I would like to introduce Maureen Murphy for this session.
Oh, well, thank you, Kara, and welcome back, everybody. We're going to continue with session 11 and our geospatial tools, and this is on page 252. So your requirement here is that you first have to be logged on the conservation desktop and your preferences are set. The user has an assigned case file and the technical assistance plan practice schedule is open. Our rationale here is that the Identify tool allows the planner to view attribute information for a selected feature in the active layer. And so we're going to demonstrate how that works. So first off, we open the map content and select or highlight a layer to be the active layer. And this is important because the Identify tool only works with the active layer. And in this case, we have selected the case PLU to be our active layer. On the GIS Tools toolbar, you click on the Identify button, which is the globe with an arrow on it, and the current active layer is displayed in the Identify dialog, as it shows there. If there is more than one feature at that location, the number of features is displayed at the top of the window, and then you can scroll through the results using the arrow buttons at the top of that. In this case, we have one feature that's showing. And when you're done reviewing that, you can click on the X to close the attributes window.
Maureen, I'll just share one shortcut, especially for these tabs down here. If I were to hit practice schedule down here on the tabs, you'll notice that that changes my active layer because the tabs controls the being active for these layers. So then I could go use the Identify button on those practice polygons and show you the arrow that I couldn't show you before.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Sandy. Okay, moving on to lesson plan 67, and this is the Find tool, which we will find on page 254. And once again, you have to be logged in and your preferences are set. And in this case, we're going to, I believe, the Keattsville, Missouri Service Center. But anyway, the rationale here is that our planner may want to locate and zoom to a specific location in the map view. The Find tool can be used to locate a track number from the CLU or active PLU layer, a legal description such as section, township, and range from the public lands survey system layer, an easement ID from the easement layer, a street address, or latitude and longitude coordinates. So at the end of our lesson here, we'll be demonstrating how to find a track, find by legal description, find an easement, an address, and find by lat-long coordinates. So first off, we're going to find a track. And so if need be, you open up the map content and you check the active PLU layer to make it visible.
It's already on in this case, Maureen.
Okay, thank you. Select the Find tool on the GIS Tools toolbar, and that's the one that looks like the binoculars from a sideways view. And then in the resulting dialog, you select the Track tab, which is your first one there at the top, and then you enter in coordinates, which in this case it will be 1645. And then you select the active PLU radio button, and then search the tract in the active PLU. Select the correct, okay, we're in Wisconsin. And
yeah, my apologies. I need to go set my preferences for that Missouri county.
Yeah, so anyway, we're now going to be in Sheraton, Missouri as the county, and then Keattsville as our service center. So once again, you put in your track number, our active POU radio button, and then we select the Sheraton, Missouri county, state, and go locate. And then the map is going to zoom to the track, and it will show the land units highlighted in yellow, which it does here. Next, we're going to find by legal description. And so you open the map content again, and then check the PLSS layer to make it visible, and uncheck the active POU layer. No,
Not what you asked me to do, was it? That's all right.
That's okay.
There you go.
There we go. Perfect. Then you return to your Find dialog, once again the binoculars, and you select the Legal tab in this case, the next one over. And then we input our legal description, which in this case would be Section 19, Township 54 North, and Range 17 West. .54 North and 17 West. And then you select Sheraton, Missouri, and locate. And here it returns, as we see, it returns that legal description, that section. So now we're going to find an easement. So here, once again, we open the Map Content button, and we check the easements layer to make it visible, and then we uncheck the PLSS layer. Very good. And then we return to our Find dialog, and we select the Easement tab. And once there, you enter your easement ID, which in this case is 6664240020095, and V is in Victor. And then locate. And the map will highlight and zoom to the easement boundary. Next, we're going to find an address, and we need to open our map content again. That's pretty much the first step with all of these. And we uncheck the easements layer, but we don't need to check another layer to make it active for this search. And we return to our Find dialog, and we click on the Address tab. And we type in 104 S, then John F. Kennedy Avenue. It'll be South John F. Kennedy, there you go. And then you once again select Sheraton, Missouri, and locate. And it drops a pin right where that is. So, and that will be, I think, a pretty neat feature if you had somebody come in and they give you an address to locate something with. And then finally, our last option here is to find by latitude and longitude. So you go back into the Find dialog. We don't need to change our active layer, and we select the Lat Long tab.
Shortcut here, you can either page over or you can use this drop-down arrow and pick the tab you want to go to.
Very good. And then enter in 39.5 for latitude and minus 93.1 for longitude, and click locate. And it drops a yellow pin marker and zooms to the coordinates. And there you go. And that covers the locate tool. Okay, moving on to lesson plan 68, and we're going to look at the filter tool. and this is on page 258. And our requirements here are, once again, the user is logged into Conservation Desktop, preferences are set, and the user has an assigned case file and technical assistance plan practice schedule open. Our rationale here is that a planner may want to filter the practices displayed in the map view in the practice schedule table. The filter tool allows the user to filter practices by practice code, agreement number, program code, planned year, applied year, or practice status. And at the end of the lesson, we will filter practices, and then we're going to clear the filters. And this is similar functionality that we have right now. It's just a different look and feel to it, and you access it a little bit differently. So we're going to go to our filter practices, and we're going to click on our next tool, which is the filter tool. It's the funnel on our GIS tools toolbar. And in our resulting dialog, note that the practice schedule PLUs are listed on the left under land units, and the practice filter criteria are listed on the right. By default, all land units and practices are selected when the dialog is first opened. Note that practice layer is the only filter option available at this time. Other options, such as resource inventory, for example, are planned for future releases. The sort option lets the user sort the practice codes by point, line, and polygon, or by numerical order, and that's that next little pull down there. The number of currently filtered practices as shown at the bottom of the dialog. And so we go in our land unit section, we uncheck the checkbox for tract 1000 and land unit 1 to deselect that. And that we note that it updates immediately, and then it shows in the red text there that it is filtered and what aspects have been filtered. Under the filter criteria on the right-hand side, scroll down to the practice code section and uncheck practices 328 and 329. Click the Apply button to filter the practices, and OK to close the dialog. And there it goes. And so if we would go to like the practice schedule, if we go to the filter tool on the GIS toolbar, we'll update to indicate that a filter is applied. And if you look at our icon, it's now a filter, it's a funnel with a little black settings icon behind it. And the map view and table view will update to show only the filtered practices. And so if you click on Show Tables and select the Practice Schedule tab, and you'll note that 328 and 329 practices are filtered from the table because they were unchecked, so they're basically hidden, but everything else is showing. And then you can hide, click the Hide Tables tab. So that's how you set filters and modify the filters to how you would like them. Now we're going to clear the filters, and so on the GIS Tools toolbar, you click on the Filter tool. You know it's filtered because the icon is a little different there with the settings wheel behind the funnel. And then the Filter tool dialog will open, showing our current filter, and you just click on the Clear Filters button. And that will clear the filter and will display all the practices, which is kind of the default. And then click the OK button to close the dialog. And that concludes lesson 68, excuse me. So moving on to lesson plan 69, which is the land unit report tool, and that's on page 262. And once again, our requirements are that we're logged in and our preferences are set, and we have a case file open, and that a plan practice schedule is open as well. Our rationale here is that the land unit report tool can be used to easily view all practices planned on a field. The planner can generate an Excel report of land unit information, practice information, or a land use summary, much like we can do in Toolkit now. So we're going to demonstrate here how to view all practices for a selected land unit, create a land unit report, a land use summary report, and create a practice report. So to view practices on the GIS toolbar, click the Land Unit Reports button, and that's the one that looks like a little notepad. In our dialog here, the Land Unit Report tool will open in a separate browser. And once it pulls everything up that we need, we're going to select our selection method. And so there in the middle of the top blue banner, we're going to select all practice schedule PLUs. And then in the land unit tree on the left-hand side, we're going to select only tract 1000 and land unit 1. Then we're going to select the Practices tab to view all practices planned for the selected land unit. And the resulting report shows all the selected practices on land unit 1. So to create a land unit report, we leave the default report type as land unit report, and then we click the orange Generate Report button. And then we're going to get a download window, and you click Save. And here we have our land unit report, and it will open up in an Excel spreadsheet. And after reviewing the report, you can just close the Excel file. Next, we're going to create a land use summary report, and we return to our land unit report tool window, and we select all the land units in the land unit tree on the left-hand side. We're going to change the report type to land use summary from that little pull down there, and then we're going to click Generate Report. And once again, our download window opens. We select Save and then click Open. And then our resulting, we have an Excel file that has our land use summary report. And after reviewing your report, you can just close the Excel file. Next, we're going to create a practice report, and so we return again to our land unit report tool window, and we change the report type, and again this time to practices report. And we want to click on the filter icon on the right side of the resulting window. There we go. And we click and we select practice codes 328 and 329, and we click those, and just those two. There we go. And then we click Generate Report. Once again, we get a download. And then our resulting report here in an Excel spreadsheet again only shows the filtered 328 and 329 practices that are included in the report. And so after reviewing the report, you can close the Excel file and then close the land unit report tool.
I'm going to give a bonus tip here in the land unit report tool. If these columns are not in the order that you prefer them to be in, you can actually drag them and drop them to where you would like to see them. So there's some flexibility, and then you can hide and show whatever columns you prefer to see in this report tool.
Lots of flexibility there. Well, that concludes lesson 69 and session 11 as well.